In the khutbah today, I began to speak about the month of Rajab and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it that the month of Rajab is one of the sacred months. Inna iddata shuhuri inda Allahi 12 shahran fi kitabillah, that Allah has made it that the months are 12 and 4 of them are sacred. And one of the virtues of the month of Rajab is that when the month of Rajab would be ushered in like it is today, so today is the first day of Rajab, tonight now being, inshallah, after Maghrib will be the second night of Rajab. When Rajab would come in, the Prophet ﷺ would say, Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. Ya Allah, bless for us our month of Rajab and the month of Sha'ban, and allow us to worship you in the month of Ramadan. And so what's important to think about, I think, for the community is the fact that Ramadan is 2 months away. We have this month of Rajab, then the month of Sha'ban, and then the blessed month of Ramadan. And so really, Rajab is a time where the believer begins to really prepare her and himself for the prospect of fasting in the month of Ramadan. And I know when we begin to think about Ramadan, a lot of us, we start to have kind of butterflies in our stomach, a few knots, concerned about the prospect of fasting every day and praying every night and feeling that tension to read the Quran and the cognitive dissonance that ails so many of us during the month of Ramadan. Okay, I know I'm supposed to be kind of more on top of my game, but I'm just tired or I'm exhausted, and especially it's the summertime and we have work and children and school and the list goes on. And so what do we naturally do when we're faced with that circumstance? Just push it off. We don't even think about it. We just, let it dig deeper somewhere into our psyche and we just ignore it. But there's no doubt that all of us who've experienced Ramadan, at some point in the month of Ramadan, and definitely after it, we always say the same thing about Ramadan. It's just a beautiful time, right? Everyone, regardless of that dissonance that you had before the start of Ramadan, when the month starts, what happens? Then you get into it and you begin to experience the beauty of community and you begin to have all these wonderful kind of experiences. And then afterwards, you just feel like, wow, that really felt good. I didn't benefit as much as I would have wanted to, but it really felt good. And so what we want to do is understand, what does it take to really habituate ourselves, condition ourselves in a way so that when Ramadan comes, we're ready for it. We're ready to really take in all the blessings that it has to offer and to benefit from it the way that we know we really can benefit from. And so every week, inshallah, for the next 2 months, I'm going to be giving just a small, brief piece of advice of what you can do to ensure that you are prepared for the month of Ramadan. Today, what I want to talk about is intention. I want to talk about intention. And what types of intentions can we begin to prepare from now for the month of Ramadan? Because what a person will get out of the month of Ramadan is how much a person actually prepared, especially on a theoretical, spiritual level. One of the beautiful ibadat that I've spoken about many times is the ibadah of tafakkur and tadabbur. Like this young sister who's doing a lot of tafakkur and tadabbur, but loudly. She's thinking, but out loud. She's one of those. May Allah bless her, and her father, and her mother, and her family. And she's still running back and forth. She's making sure we're on top of our game. So, tafakkur and tadabbur, thinking and reflecting, is one of the beautiful ibadat of our religion. When a person from now, thinking 2 months away about the month of Ramadan, begins to think about the desire to fast in the month of Ramadan, showing Allah, Ya Allah, my mind and my heart are present, and I am concerned about the fact that the month of Ramadan is 2 months away. That is a virtuous intention. That, Ya Allah, I understand that the month of Ramadan is a month of mercy. I understand that the month of Ramadan is a month of forgiveness. I understand that the month of Ramadan is a month of Quran. I understand that the month of Ramadan is a month of family. I understand that the month of Ramadan is a month of sacrifice. I understand the month of Ramadan is a month of prayer, a month of fasting from fasting of the tongue and fasting of the nafs and fasting of the limbs, fasting of the belly, etc., etc. So if I am preparing all of these thoughts right now, and I'm attaching to them a spiritual value, showing Allah that I am tending to benefit from all that which Ramadan has in store for me, then what happens at that point is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes these 2 months coming up a form of worship. That if I am intending from now, and I am sincere in my intention, and I'm thinking about all of the virtues and the beauties of Ramadan, Ya Allah, I know that in the month of Ramadan the shayateen are shackled, and that the heavens are opened, and that the doors of forgiveness are open. Ya Allah, I intend to take advantage of that. I intend to remember your name, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Ghafoor, Al-Wadud. I intend on thinking about these names of yours, Ya Allah, and seeking your forgiveness. If this is the process that I'm doing right now, 2 months away, then if Allah wills it and I die next month, may Allah give us all healthy, long lives. But if Allah wills it that I die next month, and my entire spirit is intending Ramadan, what is more beautiful than to meet Allah in that state? That Allah will reward me, that I have prepared intentions already to worship Him in the month of Ramadan. That inshallah, you say, Ya Allah, and if you take me before Ramadan comes, please grant me the reward of that Ramadan. That's a real thing in our religion. And that's the power of intention, the power of thoughtfulness, the power of tadabbur and tafakkur, is to be of present mind all the time. Because what ends up happening, if I don't do this, if I don't prepare myself mentally and spiritually, I just put it off, and then usually what happens? Literally a day or two before Ramadan, it hits me like a ton of bricks. Ramadan, oh my God. I get into Ramadan, and I'm just trying to get my feet wet in the first couple of days of Ramadan, just trying to get into it. And it's hard and it's challenging, it's a push and pull. But if I'm conditioned right now, and I've gone through the thought process, I've habituated my heart, my soul, my mind in that Ramadan state, that when it comes, I'm ready. I'm braced, not to deal only with the challenges, the physical challenges of Ramadan, but I'm braced to actually now take and begin to receive all of the beauties that Ramadan has to offer from the first night. Right? Because the question is, are we going to be there the first night, which is the night before we fast? How many of us are going to pray Taraweeh on that night? A lot of people, they pray Taraweeh the first night, meaning like after the first day of fasting. But the first time for Taraweeh is the night before. How many of us are going to be sitting there at Maghrib time before the first night of Ramadan starts, and I'm making dua, Ya Allah, ballighni Ramadan, get me into Ramadan, I just want to be in it. Get me into that moment where I just taste the month of Ramadan and its beauties and its virtues. Right? For that to happen, I have to start thinking about it from now, conditioning myself in that way. So inshallah ta'ala, I advise myself and all of you to begin to start charting out for yourself what your intentions for the month of Ramadan are, what you hope to accomplish in the month of Ramadan, the types of ibadat that you want to do. Tell Allah from now, Ya Allah, I intend to recite the book of Allah 2 times, 3 times. I intend to memorize this much Quran. Make your intention and be sincere about it. And if it happens, alhamdulillah. And if for whatever reason it doesn't happen, fadlu min Allah. But the intention is there, the mind is there. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our Rajab and our Sha'ban, and to allow us to arrive at the month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from us our gathering in His house. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be of those who take advantage of the month of Ramadan. We ask you, Ya Allah, to make us of those who are excited for the month of Ramadan. Ya Allah, many of us may be concerned about the month of Ramadan. Remove that concern and replace it with gleeful joy, Ya Allah. Replace it with excitement that the month of Ramadan is coming, that the opportunities for forgiveness and mercy are present, Ya Allah, and that you have chained your devils and that you have opened up the heavens. Make us excited about that, Ya Allah, Ya Kareem, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.